I remember things. It's more than just void, darkness, unconsciousness. The mind does work. There are images, patterns, things to recollect. It's not just the long, deep sleep that comes when the fear has left. The cold is felt, the slipping away of feeling is noted and then succumbed to. The mind functions. Time is distorted, jumbled, telescoped, accordion, but there is a sense of time even so. And I remember things. I remember the way it began. I remember the way it was in the beginning.
Daddy, I think he's lost his mind. He's never been like this before. Tonight he was almost crazy.
What did he say?
Oh, crazy things. That he's some kind of a spaceman and that they're taking over the Earth and that we're all going to die.
Better get him some help.
Goes 30 times faster than the speed of light.
Mentally disturbed.
When a space agency put me on my smartphone, don't listen to me. They told me to keep in mind the scientific process. And what do we know about our latest advance?
Better get him some help.
Don't listen to him. He's one of us. He's with the advanced unit.
What kind of advanced unit, son?
Don't fight them, son.
It'll only make it more difficult for all of us.
You're mentally disturbed.
Hey, welcome everybody back to Experimentally Ill. This is the podcast where we're talking arts, entertainment, all kinds of stuff. Here, my weird world in here, New England. I'm your buddy Michael Phelan O'Toole, and I'm here. I have my old friend, co-conspirator in this project and many video and film projects over the past almost 20 years or so. My buddy Lawrence Hollie on the phone from California. This is a reunion. Been a little while back since the last podcast. This one, good to get back to this project. It's going to be about 106, and it's November 28th, 2020. Yeah, so you were saying you're driving up to, we were talking about old Thanksgiving traditions and stuff. This is being Thanksgiving weekend, post-Thanksgiving weekend. And Lawrence and I, when I was out used to hang with my family in Boston for Thanksgiving, and then we went to the Denny's in the California area a few years ago. We were talking about that. So that was fun. Yeah.
And this year, I just tried to avoid all public gatherings, and I went to the desert and I worked out.
Yeah.
All this gym equipment out in the middle of Joshua Tree National Park, and just worked out in absolute desert silence.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. You know how great it is being able to work out and nobody comes up and asks you for a spot or comes up and tries to do dumb conversation. Or it's just nobody around ever at all.
Yeah.
Because it's the desert.
Yeah, well, people want to know. People want to know, Laura, how do we get back to, what's like a post-pandemic, fitness and, diet plan, We want to, what do you do when how do you get cardio? You gotta wear a mask, and, how do you do that? And
If we're talking health and fitness, one of the best things you could do, and that I found to do, is work outside where there's as few people as possible and open air. I mean, it was funny, I was working out for a while in this little park in Los Angeles, and the security guard looking over the park, he was a real douche, and he was trying to say that my single dumbbell was a COVID emergency.
Was it what? A what?
He was calling my dumbbell a COVID emergency.
Oh God.
And I was like, excuse me? I go, there's nobody around. In the next park over, there are people picnicking.
Yeah.
With their masks off.
Yeah.
There's women with purses. So he tries to say that, well, and here's his logic. It's a movable object. It's a movable object that you brought in, and that could be a COVID emergency.
But what is that? What is a COVID emergency? How does that relate to COVID?
I don't know if it means my dumbbell could be contaminated.
Okay.
I mean, I was trying to figure out. I told him, I said, that is the single fucking dumbest thing that I've ever heard. I'm going to keep working out. Go ahead and call the cops.
Yeah. With a single dumbbell.
So, I just kept working out in kind of like a real hump. And he just stood there. And I go, fucking leave. And I kicked sand at him.
Yeah, you literally kicked sand. Don't they tell you?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. You're a fucking idiot. And then he goes, I can't have you do this. And I go, then if I'm a COVID emergency, tell everybody in that park who's picnicking that they too are COVID emergencies. This is the second time you've come up and bugged me, because he bugged me before about something else unrelated.
Mm-hmm.
I was like totally like stupid, whatever. Oh no, what am I talking about? I worked out in another area of the park, and he was trying to get on me for that too. So I just finally had it. And I played along before, and this day I wasn't having it. And I screamed at him, I yelled. I took down my mask and coughed at him and spit at him.
Oh no! Oh no!
You should have seen that motherfucker jump back. I would honestly say that coughing at someone now is tantamount to pointing a gun at them.
Yeah.
I just took off my mask and I did like 3 heavy metal coughs. Like, and he just kept jumping back, and I was stamping my feet and spitting at him. It was great. I just went, get the fuck out of here, you piece of shit.
But this is a security guy or a police officer?
Security guard.
Okay.
An allied security guard. It's this company, Allied Security. None of his other underlings gave a shit. They would walk by me and say, hey, what's going on? He was just like, I don't know if he had it in for me or what, but I was just calling him on how fucking stupid it was. I'm like, dude, I go, of all the bullshit happening in the world, you're going to get on somebody who's just trying to make their life better by working out? I go, get your priorities straight, fucker. And then I capped it off with, if I ever text you without your badge, so it's fine.
What was he gonna? Would he have confiscated the weight, the one weight? Like, what was the plan there?
Well, and
I said, what was he planning to do? Like, confiscate the weight, or?
He just thought he wanted me to. He was trying to. By his logic, he was trying to say that it wasn't so much me working out in the park. It was the fact that I had the weight.
Yeah.
The COVID emergency.
What?
And I go, complete horseshit. I go, because the other day, there was a dude working out in the park, the next park over, with his shirt off, and he had 2 push-up bars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like those little kind of handles you can do push-ups with?
Yeah, like the block things.
Yeah. So I go, those are as much of a COVID emergency as these are. I go, and your guards saw him, they didn't say anything. I go, in fact, they saw me, they didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And then he tried to say, well, then his excuse was, well, I didn't see that guy.
Yeah, if I didn't see it, it didn't.
And I'm like, well, what? I go, well, then how great of a security guard are you?
But couldn't you just disinfect the equipment? Like, why is that a problem? That seems so weird.
But Mike, it's just the whole thing of like, it's a park.
Yeah.
You know, I was working out in an area that had sand and grass.
Yeah.
There was nobody around. There was nobody in that area of the park.
Mm-hmm.
I had my mask on. Like, I wasn't even, it was a cool day out.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily even sweating.
Do you have to be in your own hazmat suit and an isolated tent to be able to, like, how protected do they need you to be if there's no one else around and you have a mask and it's crazy.
I was trying to figure that out. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, like, what's the protocol? What? I don't know. It's just, I think that the pandemic, for some people, it gives them a license to act like douchebags.
Right, it's the masks and the maskless, and it's a political statement somehow. Yeah.
Versus the actual danger of the virus itself, which I don't think is as easily spread as people fear it to be. Hey, dude, I'm willing to be wrong. But I'm just like, ergo, a dumbbell.
Yeah.
Used in open space where there's nobody around is 100% not a COVID emergency.
He's like trying to get some kind of commendation, some kind of ego boost to be able to control those people. It's like a chicken or the egg thing. Like, is he a controlling? Is a controlling person become controlling because they have that kind of authority, or are they driven to that kind of job because it gives them license to mess with people like that? You know?
Oh yeah, I mean, ask Rod, Rod Weber, our political commentator, activist buddy there. I mean, I was kind of thinking of him when I was railing at the guy. I'm like, Rod wouldn't take shit from this dude.
Yeah, I know. Like, I saw one of Rod's videos where it was like some cop or some guard was trying to say that he wasn't allowed to protest on some part of the street, but then there were other protesters like fairly nearby. It's clearly like profiling him for some reason, and so he's saying he was citing the like a violation of the First Amendment or whatever, and he, as long as he kept pushing the issue, eventually him and his security guard buddy just let him go. It's as long as you make enough of a. I mean, you have a point, but they just try to manipulate you out of it. You know what I mean? And then when they realize it's like more trouble than it's worth. So yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What they count on is that whenever a security guard or a cop gives you some bullshit rule that is complete horseshit, it's like what they're counting on is for you to just see badge and uniform.
Yeah.
And they expect you to not ask questions. They just think that uniform equals immediate authority, and they can just say and do whatever. And the most egregious example are security guards, because a lot of those dudes, at least in my limited worldview on them, my take on security guards is like, those are the dudes who wanted to be cops, but they were too chicken shit to do it. Or the police wouldn't have them, or the third option, it's just a job and it pays, and you don't have to use your brain. You just walk around and sometimes flash a flashlight.
Yeah.
Or in this case, you yell at people who are bringing dumbbells in, and you call it a COVID emergency.
Well, he was a dumbbell, Lawrence, and
I mean, what do you think? What do you think? I'm a Marvel villain?
Yeah.
I'm going to raise the dumbbell up and press a button, and the hatch is going to open and spread out like little COVID robot germs?
It was at emergency level. You had reached like orange level already.
My God, I was suddenly COVID man. I had a weapon and everything. Well, you're the host of the show. I'm sure you're rife with topics. Let me not be the one who leads this. What about you?
Well, this is just sort of the lo-fi show to get back to it. But what's going on? Not too much. Nothing that I can. Nothing that I've been cleared to speak about.
Okay, fine. See where we're headed.
I can see.
So, to the audience, I could just interject. So to the audience, I would just say this. I'm temperate now, and I know Mike said that this is the 106th episode.
Oh, this is also, the instigating of doing this episode is we need to, because Lawrence didn't become awesome until he went to California, so we needed to rectify the earlier episodes where we were too self-conscious in our delivery. So now we have a lo-fi.
Yeah. If I'm screaming at all, if it sounds like I'm screaming, it's just because I'm doing it from the inside of my van.
Yeah.
While driving around. But,
this is valuable material to someone. When this is the only, when mainstream media, when Hollywood has been exhausted, because, I mean, here's something that, you can share your experiences, where I know as a member of Central Casting, they keep sort of wanting you to be part of the experimental pool of background performers, because when we run out of the mainstream movies, because, Hollywood they want to make this all-purpose evergreen content, and if everyone has to wear a mask, it's going to kind of look funny and dated. So they're just sort of putting those actors back to work, I guess, or something. Or an incentive to make CGI characters or something. I don't know. Or dubbing them in.
The whole Hollywood cycle is in a tailspin right now, not just in how they make movies, but in how they distribute movies.
Yeah.
Because,
well, they were holding off on a lot of things, right? Like, I wanted to see Wonder Woman 1984, all these, and then Bill and Ted 3. It was sort of hemming and hawing, and then that just came out on demand. I was able to see it on Amazon, and all these different... They were sort of... All these things are holding off because they want to do, like, a traditional release, but then none of the movie theaters are opening, so...
Well, nobody wants to admit that... no one wants to admit the horrible truth that movie theaters are probably gone for a long, long while.
Yeah.
What it is right now is the whole world is trying to not give into the fact that the human race is probably going extinct. And they don't want to admit that all the things that we hold normal are just breaking down and going away. And
Yeah.
Like they know movie theaters will never come back. They know gyms will never open again.
That
But
sucks.
they'll trot out little things like, trial run, we're going to release it in the theater and on demand.
Yeah.
And then when the movie gets, when it comes time for the movie's release, it's just on demand and not in the theater.
It's like, in theory, there's people up somewhere. There's a theater that's allowing people.
And you get the people who go in, they're trying to be like, oh, bippity bop, it's the same as normal. Look, we're in the theater, popcorn. And it's, you can't hide the horrible fact that, then you find out, such and such movie theater was the site for a new outbreak of coronavirus.
Yeah. That's why they said, do not gather with your families, or even the restaurants that have the precautions, like, some of them have the plexiglass and some of them don't, and some of them...
Is it like that where you in Boston or Needham or wherever, if you find there's a sort of a patchwork of how to allow COVID protocol, some places do it, some places don't. Have you seen that?
Yeah, depending on how strict they are, is really... Well, are we in phase 2 or phase 3? Everything will be fine. Just, wear your mask as we're walking you to your seating area, and then, it's okay to take it off to eat, and then only one person allowed in the bathroom, but then 5 people enter it all at once for no reason. And then they just sort of spray down the tables and use a wet wipe or something, and it should be fine.
It's okay.
Meanwhile, there's another the conservative end of people who are, there's a full-on music festival still going on somewhere, in a red state or something.
Is that the barbecue thing?
I don't know. There was something that the wrestler Chris Jericho, who's in a rock band, also was like part of some big like their own like music festival where it's like people are ass to ass. It's like who cares? Or on a cruise or something. I don't know. So that was sort of coming into question. So.
I mean, on the one hand, you do have, it is suspect when, like, most of the summer of 2020 was the backdrop of endless civil unrest where people were just running amok, many without masks.
Right, because the Black Lives Matter protesting stuff and the police brutality stuff was all right in the middle of the pandemic stuff, where it was like, what are people willing to risk given the right motivations, But it
was just funny, like, how quickly, like, the COVID narrative was dropped when all those riots were happening, what I mean?
All the conspiracy theorists then come out and start to say, well, why is that? The media is pushing a new narrative and, but it's like, ultimately it's sort of, with especially TV news and stuff, it's like there's only really so much you can cover. I think it's like a chicken or the egg thing too. I mean, I think people have shorter attention spans now anyway because there's so many different ways to distract yourself with like entertainment and stuff and internet and stuff. But then there's also, I think it's just, how much of that is, intentional as far as like mainstream media goes. I think they're only able to focus on so many things at once. I think there's always going to be some kind of dominating narrative to, within the public consciousness and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was a way for people to almost try and discredit the protests too, as they say, well, okay, this is a big issue, but how come it's okay that they can go and protest? You know what I mean? It's like...
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff there that... I don't know. I mean, did you see any of that? Anything... Were you in the middle of... with van living and stuff, were you in the middle of anything like that as far as the protester thing, or you sort of got out of Dodge for a while when all that stuff was going on?
Miraculously, Mike, that's a good question. Like, miraculously, I haven't seen one second of any of the protests in real time. Yeah. Because even, like, right now I'm in a place called Indio, California, which is, it's several miles east of Los Angeles. It's out in the desert. And it's in the middle of the Palm Desert and over near Joshua Tree National Park, which is just this awesome spread out area. There's a lot of people, but it's really spread out. The people are a little bit more chill. It's mostly a Mexican population, which is just, I don't know, it's like they're so into their own thing. And this isn't racist in any sort. I'm just saying, like, it's so Mexican here that they're so into their own thing. They're not going to have any time for protests and any of that stuff. They're too busy out working and stuff like that. Not to say that the protests are wrong or anything like that, but you're just not going to see that here. It's a different vibe, a different culture.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was here for a while, and then when in the heat of all the Black Lives stuff, I was in Culver City, which is. It's around where Sony Studios is. It's kind of like a Hollywood TV production area of Los Angeles. Maybe a little bit more upscale, kind of like a little bit upscale and a little bit ghetto. It's a weird intermingling.
Yeah.
But there was nothing. There was absolutely nothing there. Like I was hanging out over by the YouTube building of all places.
Weren't you trying to get one of your YouTube channels verified again or up again?
Oh, yeah, right. That little video, I was attempting to go there, and, the one day I had a chance to do it, well, there's a pandemic and no one's around.
Yeah.
But long story longer, as AJ8 would say, I didn't see anything. It was, or as Andy McBain would say, this is the most boring story ever.
So would he interrupt you with that?
Well, I was telling somebody about the story of how I met him years ago.
Oh, he didn't. And he wanted to let's retcon that out of the history.
And it was just like he goes, yeah, otherwise known as the most boring story. Again, audience, I'm sorry, we're doing inside baseball, and it's gonna be. What I was trying to get to earlier, folks, is this is the 106th episode, right?
Mm-hmm.
That means, logically, that there were episodes that happened before. So here's my warning to you. Here's my plea. Any episode that I'm in that features me in the year 2013, don't listen to those. Or as D.L. Polonsky, the weird local artist, would say, you could cut those out.
Yeah.
Because I tried listening to them the other day, and what happened was, I was in a... Let's put a little context. In 2013, I still lived in Boston. It was my last year living in Massachusetts, and I was in a bad place. I was in a bad relationship with a psychopath chick. I mean, she was nuts. The kind of chick who... She lived in Boston. This isn't... In case this is my ex-girlfriend who lives in Maryland, this isn't you. This is my ex who lives in...
Not you.
This is my ex who lives in Boston. This ex was so crazy that one time when she found out I had to go to work last minute, she busted into the bathroom and kicked the wall right next to my head. She back kicked it, karate kicked it, and goes, I never get what I want. Fucking 42-year-old woman behaving like a 10-year-old. But, yeah, so I was with her, and...
Did it make a hole?
All her good physical... let me just say, folks, doesn't matter how great a chick looks, doesn't matter how banging her body is, if she's a psychopath, after a while, it's just not worth it. The sex will not patch over any problems. But I was with her. I hated Boston. I hated Boston for all 39 years that I lived there. And I just wanted to get out. I wasn't really working a steady gig at the time. And I couldn't wait to go to LA, which I planned to go the next year. So I brought all that angst and craziness to the radio, to the podcast that I worked on with Mike at the time. And I was doing a weird radio shtick thing. And we were actually at a radio station. We were recording at a radio station.
Yep.
And we were on the air on morning drive time radio, if you can believe it. But I was just insufferable. It's not worth your time.
Wait a minute, there's other people on those ones.
Yeah, never mind that. The best thing to do is, if you're into the Experimental Yo podcast, pick up on episodes right around, I don't know, maybe January, February 2014.
Yeah.
When Mike was a solo act.
Yeah.
Because then I rebooted, and he started interviewing me over the phone, and it was a complete character reboot.
Yeah. Was it?
And I have canon discontinuity with that earlier character that I was. That was same character, different actor. So, putting it in tvtrope.org terms.
Uh-huh.
And there you have it. So, Mike, the Experimental Yo podcast has been going on a while.
Do you want to try to...
106 episodes.
Do you want to try to get DL on the phone?
I'm down for whatever. You do whatever you need to do. It's your show, dude.
Yeah.
Go for it. So Mike is going to try to get DL.
He just makes the decision for me. That's good, yeah.
D.L. Polonsky is, again, for those who are not aware, because you got to assume that somebody's coming at it new at some point in human history. If you're listening into this 3,000 years in the future, D.L. Polonsky was...
He is dead now, but...
Yeah, he was a self-proclaimed weird local artist in a place that was once known, in the now nuclear bombed out place that was once known as Allston, Massachusetts. DL's artwork is not shitty. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
DL is a filmmaker, or he was a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Of some very, very interesting films, which you can probably find a couple of them on YouTube.
He also taught a 10-year-old Eli Roth a filmmaking class.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of filmmaker Eli Roth, you have the help of all people. You have to thank for that, for better or worse.
Let's try to call, because...
If you didn't like the movie Hostel, blame DL.
Yeah, you can direct all those emails to d.l.polonsky@hotmail.
DL is great, but he's just like... The funny thing about him is just like part of his... It's almost like performance art, because he can be such a hard luck Chuck. Like, everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Like, he tries to do it. He tries to make a Facebook account, and they don't let it. And they don't let him. They don't let him name it like what DL, so he has to do DI. I love that.
He thought it would look like it was a capital or a lowercase L or something.
It's just even the small details are just always fraught with disaster and chaos.
But he's another one who is always looking for like an outlet for just kind of his jokes, and just I think he's a good, personality and a good guy and getting his art and stuff out. But it's good to try him, because I've several, I was thinking about starting this podcast up again, and I always try to invite him and stuff, and then there's always he has like canon discontinuity too, because he was on like at least like I want to say like 40 episodes or something like that. I don't know. Somewhere around there, 30 something, off and on. And then he was like a third chair in the morning show. Lawrence and DL have a long storied rivalry on the program, the program.
Yeah. But I've turned over a new leaf, and I've tried to be far less abusive to DL.
Yeah.
In subsequent conversations, but that doesn't mask the fact that I think he hates my guts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's fine. There are people I don't like either.
Well,
that was pretty ridiculous in my day, but who cares about all that?
He doesn't like if you just call him up like that.
Huh?
He doesn't like if you just call him up that way. Not that way.
No. You call other people up like that, Mike?
I think we did. We used, but you don't. I say, hey. I don't. I'm sorry.
Who else do we know that we can call? Well, I mean, there's Quincy.
Yeah. Can you? Is there a way? Can you merge your call? It's almost 9:30, but it's Saturday. I mean.
Almost 9:30. Let me see here. Can I call? How do you merge calls on this fucking thing?
But if we're gonna have DL calling back in 15 minutes, I don't know that we can do a 4-way call.
Oh my God, that would be. I think that might cure the coronavirus.
Yeah. Sure.
Maybe some other time with Quincy, huh?
That deserves its own episode. I tried to call him, but a couple of years ago now, and I got his mother. I was doing video for our friend Victor, who's been in a bunch of our buddy John Hartman's Real Groovy Films movies, which I'll put in a plug for the feature The Shackling, which I'm in, and I also did a lot of audio and was a producer for that movie. That was 5 years off and on in the making, and that's available on the Real Groovy Films YouTube page now, REEL Groovy Films, with presidential candidate performance artist Vermin Supreme also in it. So go look at that.
I'm pretty sure I saw Vermin Supreme on the ballot when I went to vote recently.
He was in. I thought he was on. He actually did a legitimate campaign this year. He's been running for president for like 30-something years, as this performance, showing you how ridiculous the whole thing is, wearing a boot on his head and carrying a giant toothbrush. And I acted in a scene with him on one of John's RetroTube tributes to old school television that he did at the time, was called Planet Dystopia, where I was a bad guy and Vermin was supposed to be the president good guy, and he is wearing like a monkey hand puppet and famously or infamously attacks my crotch with his puppet. And I guess our friend Rod Weber, who we mentioned, made a Vermin Supreme documentary called This is Vermin Supreme, and I guess there's a clip of that opens the movie. So that's sort of an infamous scene, you know. And I can't remember if that's in the Shackling or not.
Having worked in so many of John Hartman's movies, I worked on I think one of them.
Oh, and there's a tie-in there. Just to interrupt you for a second, there's a tie-in because D.L. Polonsky, I really rallied for D.L. to be in John's latest thing. I think he's going to release soon on YouTube called Hippie Shoot. And D.L. Polonsky got to have some cool face makeup on him that I think he was interested in the past. He got to play sort of a smarmy like producer, like a backroom, you know, well-dressed but like sleazy producer, a TV producer character. So I wasn't on that set, but it was cool to get those guys together. What is it like doing a John Hartman production?
Well, yeah, you know, like you, me, in our day, we used to kind of bob around and help out and act in various indie productions in Boston, Massachusetts, and we worked with anyone from an audience, the people I'm about to list. These are a bunch of Boston area or former Boston, Massachusetts area filmmakers, kind of the eccentric variety, gonzo variety. There was, the aforementioned D.L. Polonsky. There was Mick Cusimano, and there was, of course, John Hartman.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you describe how was it different work? Like, what were the conditions like? Were there any uniform characteristics of working on all these productions that kind of indicated that you're working on an a very no-budget indie production? Or were they all different? Were they different in their way? You know, how were they same? How are they different?
Well, you have different levels of sort of mastery of the actual technical equipment, and you have, sometimes there was no kind of food available. Sometimes there are different levels of what food is available to the cast and crew. I'm trying to think. I mean, John Hartman sort of, I don't think he would mind my saying, can sort of wax and wane as far as his mastery of equipment, but it's interesting. I mean, he's shooting on actual film stock, sort of like a lower end, like film aficionados, which I guess consider like lower end, like Super 8 or stuff like that. But one time I think he did a Super 16 millimeter, something like that. But so and then just the way he shoots and the content, it's more artistic. But a lot of these guys, the overall thing is, a lot of these people want to be sort of auteurs and do it all, and they're more, even if they're not necessarily a master cinematographers, they're more sort of obsessed with the camera technology than they are with actually writing a cohesive script all the time. And different people, like John, knows how to make that work to his advantage sometimes and tries to be creative about it. We'll do outlines and things like that, and other people will really strain with doing a script. And there doesn't really seem to be, no one really can seem to loosen the reins of the whole thing to just find someone who just is a good writer that maybe they could sort of have a conversation with and get their story sort of structured a little bit better. They're all sort of obsessed with shooting it, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's necessarily visually interesting or not, but sometimes that can be kind of cool, like the whole punk rock kind of ethos to it. Sometimes that can work to your advantage, and other times doesn't work as well. I don't know. I stopped doing like other stuff except if I wasn't gonna get paid. I stopped. I just didn't have the energy like physically to run around in the same way. And I felt like up until I would do like John stuff. I would still do because it's interesting. The costumes are interesting. The people are interesting. The sort of the alternative sort of gothy club culture that he sort of cherry picks people from is interesting. And John's a nice guy. All of these people, various ways, like I said, the auteur thing, if they don't have a full crew or not, they have to sort of, if they don't have a big budget, they have to sort of try to find a way to galvanize people. Say, hey, it's our friend, local artist D.L. Polonsky on the phone.
Am I loud enough? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Should I talk about what I do? What I've been doing?
Yeah, if you want to. What have you been? It's been like a while since I've even done a show and since we've talked to you. So what have you been up to with the whole pandemic and everything?
I'm mostly staying in the house, and I've been doing anti-Trump cartoons and posting them on social media.
Are you on the speakerphone? Are you on the speaker?
It's hard to count them because some of them have the same text but different pictures, but I've done about 119 of them. Mm-hmm. What have you been doing?
We're doing my own visual art, like drawing and painting, some collage stuff.
Yeah, I saw those.
Yeah, I just almost finished with a new thing, which I like. Trying to get back to writing, trying to just work on myself, check in with people.
Everything's obviously harder with this pandemic, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's not the escapism of like, let's go to the movies or let's go to a club or let's go to, there's some restaurants are still open, but.
Yeah, there's a lot less of it, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just I'm doing some non-political art, but mostly it's political. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually now tweeting it directly to Trump's account and related accounts like the White House account and Eric's, and nothing much happens because of that. Occasionally it gets a lot of views, if I can believe the Twitter counter, if that's accurate. And sometimes people retweet them, but of course I don't think Trump is seeing it. I think maybe some secretary or social media director is seeing it. They would never let him see anything that critical. His head would explode or something.
Yeah, I think our friend Rod Weber did an art piece called "Exploding Trump," where Trump's head was exploding. So.
Yeah.
Didn't you also have the horror icon Tony Todd retweeted a bunch of your stuff?
What icon?
Tony Todd, the actor from Candyman.
Oh, yeah. I hadn't heard much of him before this, but the horror movie.
Yeah.
He's called a horror movie legend. I guess I haven't heard of him before this. Mm-hmm. He was in Platoon and Candyman and reboots of Star Trek.
Yeah.
And he retweeted 39 so far of my political cartoons.
I remember Lawrence was excited to see him when he and I had gone to, there's a convention called Rock and Shock in Worcester that has like music people and then like horror people. And he was excited about Tony Todd, so that's cool. Yeah. And
this guy, I know it's a funny name, but it's just the British, the British title, Lord Sugar. This is a British business magnate who is like an enemy of Trump's. They have some history together. Retweeted my Trump Time parody cover, and it got a quarter of a million views, which is I never get anything like that. And this thing called the Trump Dictionary presumably is using my work, an actual book, not just an online book. Are using some of my political cartoons.
Yeah.
That's enough promotion. I don't want to.
Yeah, and they can see you have a relatively new.
I don't know what I think of Trump, but that would be obvious to anyone with a brain, any thinking person. I mean, I I don't have any. Probably, I'd be saying the obvious. It's not obvious to his supporters, but they're delusional. But
you have an Instagram.
I think the voter fraud stuff. I think Trump knows he lost the election, and he's just doing it because he gets money somehow. If his voters think he's fighting the election results, and also it makes him look like a fighter and a rebel to his delusional supporters. So I think he knows that he has no chance in hell of winning it, but he's just and he doesn't really know how pathetic it looks to most people. I mean, it's like he wants a recount and he's just going to lose again. It's just there's no logic to anything he's doing. It's just all coming out of his narcissism, his delusional narcissism.
Yeah.
I think if we have more from now on, we should vet all the presidents a lot more carefully, because this is like the nightmare that the founding fathers had when they set up the whole thing.
That someone like him could get into office.
What?
That someone like a Trump could be in office. So,
yeah. They didn't set it up for the worst case scenario, and Trump is the worst case scenario.
Yeah.
Pretty much. There are things I don't know a lot about in politics. I have like big areas of my information where I don't have,
do you remember when?
I make sure I don't always know everything about the politics. I just know the dangerous psychological. The dangerous mind of Trump it's a worse kind of mental illness or someone who has power over people. And what's that?
Like a COVID alert or something. I don't know.
What is that whistling? Is it on your phone?
I'm not hearing anything now. I don't know.
Did you hear it before? It sounded... Did you hear it before?
I can't hear anything now.
I don't think this is...
I think it was a busy signal. It was a busy signal, I think.
Hear it now? Do you hear that?
Let me see if I can connect it. Hold on. Hello? Hello?
Sounds like...
Did anybody kickbox my head with this? GL, do you remember when we would do the radio show and did Lawrence kickbox your head at the radio station or the TV station?
He kicked in the air right like 2 inches from my face.
Yeah.
He wasn't doing it when he was on the air.
What do you remember? What was it like with Lawrence on the air though? Do you remember doing the morning show?
Yeah, he used to when he didn't like what I said, he turned the audio off.
Oh, yeah.
That's fascism.
Yeah. Something you've been fighting against.
Yeah.
Your whole career.
There are a few. There's a little bit of overlap between Lawrence's personality and Trump's personality. Yeah.
There is. Wow.
The narcissism and ego. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you gonna put that on the air? I don't give a shit.
I can put it.
All right. I'll say Trump's a little worse.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little bit worse than Lawrence.
I think we're getting another call. Caller.
It's like somebody blowing a little toy whistle for a kid or something.
Wait.
What did you hear?
Wait, I think it's my friend. Wait.
It's so funny.
I think it's my friend Hollie. Hello?
Hey, Mike, what's going on, man?
How's it going? I'm with my artist friend DL.
Hey, what's going on, Mike? Hey, am I interrupting a call, or?
No, we're doing a podcast.
Anyway, who is this?
Who's this? I'm talking to Mike. Mike, what's going on? You want me to call for the podcast?
Yeah, I'm talking to my artist friend DL now.
Who is this?
My name. Oh, who are you, sir?
Neil Polonsky. I'm an artist.
Oh yeah, Mike told me about it. Yeah, no, I'm Raleigh. I'm a friend of Mike's. I'm a musician friend.
Okay.
And yeah, hey, what's going on? I know about you. I know all about you.
Thank you. And it feels like it's going to be a million years before we get back to normal or a semblance.
Stop it. Stop it.
It's the new normal.
Don't say that, man.
At least Trump's out. That's good. I mean,
oh, thank Christ. That fucking piece of sherbet garbage.
no, yeah. I hate the way people just focus on how gross he is visually, but I guess they're doing it as a way to degrade him because he degrades everyone else. But the real problem is his psychotic mind, but not the way he looks. But people just want to attack him, so verbally. I mean, in any way they can. So it's
you get a lot of static for that.
I'm making anti-Trump cartoons and putting them on social media and pretty much nowhere else. It's nearly impossible to get them anywhere else. Usually nothing. I don't want to just talk about myself. Why don't you tell me what did you mean?
Go ahead. You have the floor, man. It's totally cool.
I already did before he put you on the phone. I was already talking about myself.
All right. Well, I guess I can talk. Mike, what about you wanted to talk about the concert I was going to do online? Didn't you, or no?
Yeah, weren't you still going to do, was it like a Stage It thing or like a Facebook Live thing? Everybody has to
We were going to do it from the attic of my friend's house in Newburyport.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that his roommate might have COVID. And now we have to reshuffle all our plans, and it's just a big mess, man. I just wanted to make sure I clarified that on the air, as it were.
Yeah. Everyone has to be, the audience has to be 6 feet apart from the computer screen to watch
Christ. What is that, man? I don't want to speak out of turn, but it's kind of like I haven't seen it happen, but I know it's there.
Yeah.
So
a cover of "Don't Stand So Close to Me" by the Police.
All I'm going to say is I don't know anyone who got COVID, so it probably isn't.
Did you hear what he said, Mike?
I'm old, so I have old reference. Yeah, you could do a cover of "Don't Stand So Close to Me" by the Police.
What about the supergroup, the Car Door Sticks?
Yeah. Yeah, and now I have to explain that joke. What band is he in? What music do you do?
We do mostly like 80s new wave covers. And it was kind of we're older guys. We're like 35 to 45.
Yeah.
And
I'm old. I'm 60.
You might like some of the music. I don't know if you're 60, so you might be more into big band stuff.
Big band? Are you fucking kidding? No, I like some 60s and 70s, and some newer things, but not usually. I mean, no, I don't.
I wasn't trying to say that you liked old people. I was just making an off. I'm sorry.
Well, I do like 60s and 70s stuff generally more than newer stuff, and I know 60s, 70s is like 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
wait, you said you're how old?
6. I just turned 60.
Do you remember, because I watched this YouTube show called Caught in the Shadows, and he talks about like one-hit wonder like bands. Do you remember a song called Timothy?
Yeah.
Like about like 3 guys in a mine, and like they eat one of the guys. Mike, you wouldn't know about this because you're like 12.
I haven't heard about that, but yeah.
No.
It wasn't an early 70s song like the sanctimonious song from the early 70s.
Well, that's why I was running it by you, because we actually wanted to cover that for Halloween, but
I'll have to look it up. I don't remember exactly. It's some kind of pseudo-religious or, some kind of preachy song from the early 70s, I think.
I mean, I wasn't there, so I have no idea. I mean, I was like a baby at that point, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're trying to shoehorn the
Are you
religion
into,
into it.
Michael, are you into any 70s music? Do you know anything from the 70s, or are you kind of like, that's not your thing?
Well, was it the Beatles or the Monkees or which one of...
That was
Wow, you really don't know. He doesn't know
That was
anything.
Wow.
mostly the 60s.
That's like the 60s. You just bumped it up a decade, dude. Like, if it's old, it's... For Mike, it's just kind of like, if it's old, it's any old time. So the Beatles can have...
You're blurring all the
Was it the
categories.
Doors or
Right. It's old music.
the Cars or...
So.
The Cars was the early 80s.
I mean, they're playing Nirvana
Well,
on the Classic Rock channel now, so who can really say?
We want to do a Biden kind of like, inaugurate... like when he comes into office, we want to do, my buddy Todd was talking about doing an online concert for the day he's in office, but I don't know. I mean, we might be running from bullets from that day. Who the fuck knows? So,
For a while, I wasn't absolutely sure. I believed that Trump was going to be wasn't going to find some way to stay in office. But it looks like they're going to get him out. I mean, I just...
Will he be the first president who's forced out? He doesn't just concede.
Well, he's too conceited to concede.
Mm-hmm.
He can't... He's
conceded.
just saying all this stuff to appeal to his base, so they'll think he's fighting, and he knows that he's not... He can't win. He's just doing it to be rebellious. It's pathetic. The stuff he's tweeting is pathetic.
Yeah. I
don't want to get back. I don't have anything thought out exactly.
No, that's the beauty of podcasting and conversation is. Michael, didn't you see that new app they have where you can record conversations and people can chime in?
Well, there's a few different apps that I think will do that. There's also the Anchor app, which sort of makes some podcasting a little bit easier. Sort of removes some of the steps, I guess we would never really know when we're being recorded. Didn't that come out from that the government was recording us all along?
That's nothing new. But hey, Michael, are you still with that guy John Hartman making movies, or?
That's right. We're anticipating the release of Hippie Shoot featuring D.L. Polonsky. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you're an actor too, D.L.
I did a little cameo in it, but he said that the makeup was so bad, and it was so bad that he can't even use it as being deliberately bad makeup or something. I'm not really sure he's going to edit. Is he going to use that footage? Is he going to use it? I mean,
yeah.
He said it looked so bad that he didn't even want to use it for how bad it was.
Well,
I mean,
as far as I know, what he said publicly, it seems like I think he was just sort of taking a jab at himself. I don't think it was. I think it's still going to be used. It still sort of has a... What?
Yeah. I know it takes a long time to make movies, but it's been close to a year, so I just wonder when it's...
Well, he's one of those guys who does multiple things at once, so...
Wears a lot of hats, I guess.
Yeah. So
I've seen a few of them. There's a far out. Those movies are kind of out there, Mike. A little bit out there for...
Yeah. He was doing a lot
where does he come up with that stuff? I tried to get him... I emailed him to see if he would do a music video for us, because I kind of like that sort of, Super 8 kind of style or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's kind of got that old movie thing going, and I thought that sort of grindhouse aesthetic would be kind of different, but I never heard back. That's why I was kind of asking you.
I don't know anything about it when it's coming out, or I wasn't I wasn't even sure it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mike, do you know of any other filmmaker people? Like, I mean, do you know of anyone in that sort of kind of mindset that he has? I mean, why am I asking on the podcast? Hey, listeners out there, if any of you are filmmakers, yeah, we could use a music video, man. 6 feet away, of course.
Yes.
I used to be, but I can't do anything like that in the pandemic, and before that, I couldn't do it because I didn't have enough money for one reason. But like 10 years ago, I used to do a lot of videos, public.
That has to be the quickest call and response ever. I know you did movies too.
Yeah, but like 10.
What did I do with my life? What me?
The band.
Like 10 years ago, and from like 90s video movies from 96 to like 2010, and when I was growing
you did
up.
90 movies?
From 1996 to 2010.
Oh,
I did.
Oh.
No, I
10
didn't do
movies.
90. I did, and when I was growing up, I did a lot of Super 8 movies.
Mm.
Oh, you did. So kind
Yeah.
of the John Hartman stuff.
No, I didn't.
Are you like him? Are you like you did the Grindhouse sort of?
No, they're mostly comedies and we're just weird films and comedy in a different way than him.
Kind of like the Ersatz movie. Talk about that. That's the famous Super 8 one.
Wow.
That we did.
I don't want to just promote myself on this. Nobody.
Well, you heard it here first, people. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get someone to make my video, and like this guy.
Yeah.
But I don't want to,
I can't do anything like I don't. Well, we can talk about it. I mean, I can't. I'm not going to talk about it on the air or
Right.
anything.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I haven't done a video in like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, what you say you do comedies? I mean, what? Like, are they slapstick or are they like
Social
crime drama comedy? What are they?
Social satires. Mike, do you have any copies of them you could show? Is he there?
Yeah. No, he's not here.
No, I called in.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of them are on YouTube, but they're getting rid of the audio little bits at a time.
Why are they getting rid of the audio?
I don't want to talk because I can't. They have technical problems.
Okay.
Well, what do you mean? What do you like? Is YouTube sabotaging? No, the reason why I asked is because, and this is kind of important. A buddy of mine posted a music video that he made, and it had some like movie clips and bullshit in it. And he took it out, and for some reason, YouTube was still trying to censor it. So we're trying to compile a list of similar things like this that's been happening. So, I mean, are you saying they're cutting out, like, are they just cutting out the audio because they don't like the movie? Do you have copywritten things in it? What is it?
I don't want to talk about that on the air.
Oh, he doesn't want to indict anyone. But I have copies I have DVD copies.
Peel back a wound.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't have any copyrighted infringement, but they think I do.
Mm-hmm.
They stupidly think I do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I'm going to include that in the letter. I'm going to say that's no good.
What?
Because if they're doing it to you and they're doing it to my friend, they're going to just do it to everybody.
They don't know what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah. DL Lawrence actually, when he was in a part of California, he found the main YouTube building, like the offices, and tried to go in because they had taken down one of his YouTube videos or channels. But of
they have
course,
an actual office.
yeah. But I think no one was there now because of the pandemic, I think. So.
Oh, I should definitely. I'll take a plane and go tomorrow if that's the case.
Yeah.
They have an office, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought they just all worked from their computers at home even before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought it was like a bunch of like college kids or something.
Like a bunch of Poindexters.
Hey, whatever became of your the saxophone your uncle Uncle Saxophone there. Remember the guy at the garden party?
He had a music
He was
video.
playing, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this fucking fossil?"
I think this is the voice I heard before that I thought was Lawrence's voice.
Oh yeah.
I tried calling in earlier. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Definitely.
You sound a little like him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, just
That's weird.
Lawrence.
That's weird.
just the way you sound, not your attitude.
Who's Lawrence?
It's a totally different attitude, though. He has more of a chin.
Why is he comparing me to someone else? I was just asking about Barry.
Yeah.
Your uncle there. Uncle
I'm sorry. I thought. I can't even explain this.
Okay.
It's just unexplainable.
It's fine.
I used to do podcasts with Mike and Lawrence, and Lawrence was very oppressive and used to shut my microphone off when he didn't like what I said. So I didn't want this little thing to be like that. So I thought I heard his voice, but it wasn't him. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
That's not. Wow. Okay. Shut your mic off. That's no good.
It's fascism.
Yeah, he's an asshole. It's fascist.
A fascist? Whoa.
He's getting rid of free speech, shutting my microphone
Maybe
off.
Black Lives Matter will have a thing to say about him or something. I don't know.
Well,
that's okay. He's relegated to the dustbin of history. What I was asking about is your Uncle Saxophone.
Well, I think he had
his
the Sunglass Wrangler was on hand for, I think, one of the music video that Lawrence made a worst of list on the internet after YouTube.
Warren.
They pulled it from YouTube, so it was about a truck. Go truck yourself.
No, but
it's about a mail
how
truck.
is your uncle? You're not answering me the question. How is he? I remember he was playing a garden party because he came up to me and he was talking about fitness and musicianship or something. He was talking like.
Did he say musician? We gotta do something? He would have said, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Break it down like that, I guess.
Yeah. Be thinking. Do you say that?
Is he? What?
I don't know. We don't have too much contact. I really can't. I couldn't really comment.
Now you have to edit it, I guess.
No, I don't mind.
I'm sure that if his own uncle isn't contacting him, I'm pretty sure he's not listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. Maybe.
He may have covertly followed us on Twitter.
Maybe your fascist friend can throw him into the oven.
Fascist, but he's not my friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't mean to.
It's somebody who was always there when Mike was there before a long time ago. So.
Yeah. So it was sort of a package
years
deal.
Before, because I met Michael in 2016, so.
Mm-hmm.
No, this was like 2012.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Before my time, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Cool. Well, Michael, do you think maybe you'll be able to help me with the online concert there and patching it through it? We don't know all that technical shit, so.
Maybe. I know my friend Wayne was interested in doing something similar, so I don't know. Maybe we could put you guys in touch. I don't know. We'll have to see about. I hear that there's supposed to be an increase in COVID around the Boston area, so it's a really wait and see kind of thing. I think the numbers are going up.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's mostly directly related to Trump's handling back then. I mean, if we had a stable president, we wouldn't. It would have been gone about last April or May.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why there's a second wave, and probably we can't be sure, but.
But do you think that really, DL, or do you think that if it were anyone else, they would have an equally difficult time of handling it?
Are you kidding? He's killed like 200,000 people.
Because I'm of the mind that I think like anyone would have been over their head with that.
What? No.
I'm of the mind that if it were any other president, they would have been just as gobsmacked as old Pumpkinhead there, you know?
No, I think what Biden's done as the president-elect has already been about 10 times more than what Trump has done in those months when he as the so-called president.
You think so? Like, what has Biden done?
I mean, he's getting together a pandemic force, trying to, now that Trump finally agreed to the transition, even though he won't concede and might refuse to leave office. He's agreeing to the transition, and Biden is trying to put together some kind of a the preliminary stages of a pandemic force. That's what I heard anyway.
Michael, what do you think about that? Do you think
Trump just wants to destroy Trump just wants to destroy democracy and destroy.
What's to become of Trump's Space Force, though? I think is the Biden administration going to still have the Space Force?
Oh, the Space Force. Yeah, that was a good project. What was he going to do?
Can coronavirus survive in space?
Go ahead, Michael.
Can the coronavirus survive in space? We need to know these things.
Well, did you want to bet that he was going to probably try and blame it on aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
the Space Force.
Illegal aliens or space aliens?
Whatever suits the narrative.
Right. Depends on the day.
Some reporter, this has been in the news for a few days, but some reporter asked him if he's allowing the transition to continue, why won't he concede? And he said, don't ever talk to me like that. I'm the President of the United States. Don't ever talk to the President of the United States like that. And he was sitting at a little tiny desk that looks like in a kindergarten at that time.
Oh, I saw that picture. Yeah.
I'm still the president.
Funny. Like, gave him did you see that, Michael?
That reminded me of a time when... It reminded me of a time that Lawrence told me about.
What were they doing in that interview in an elementary school? Why did they have a tiny desk there?
I don't know.
Just to humiliate him?
It was too great.
That would be good.
It's actually a really funny photo.
It was something. It was something in code for it.
He was saying, "Don't ever talk to the president like that," and he was sitting at a kiddie table that was like 3 times smaller than a normal table.
It was too good.
Funny.
That's too good.
That is funny. He gets what he deserves, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to jail. He should, but I don't think he will. He's too rich.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, do you think that Trump is going to have to be forcefully removed? Or do you think he's going to go quietly? Like, what's your take, Mr. Podcast?
That would be kind of interesting if he literally had to be carried out of the Supreme Court room or something.
Oh, by the hands and feet? Yeah.
Yeah, like a true supervillain.
I think he will. He's already acted the worst possible way he can about the election results.
Uh-huh.
I'm a little surprised by how bad he's acted. I mean, he's actually talking about little parts of states and recounting and voter fraud in parts of states that wouldn't even add up to anywhere near the amount of electoral college votes he'd need anyway. It's pathetic. I mean,
is there any evidence of fraud?
I think he'll probably start physically screaming and yelling and they'll have to drag him out. I just don't think they're going to videotape it. I don't know why people think they're going to be able to see it.
Well, everyone has a smart camera in their phone. I mean, are they going to say, "Get out before I throw you out," and roll the R as they say it?
I think possibly Trump might have some police enforcements on that day.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll be like Keystone cops. They'll be like like incompetent cops probably.
Are you going to stay in that day, or are you expecting conflict, or what? What do you think?
I stay in almost every day anyway because of the pandemic. I mean,
that's a moot point. How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be, I'll watch it on the news, and I'll, draw a picture about it or something, right? I don't know.
Oh, boy.
We'll be calling our friend Rod Weber, who's known to be on the front lines of these things, who saw a man have to jump on top of the Humvee as the National Guard sped away with a citizen clinging to the Humvee as they confiscated the man's own car when during the riots over there a few months ago.
You you said Rod Webber. He was playing with us last weekend in my buddy's basement. We were recording an EP, and he came by because he knew Joseph. And he was telling us all about the bullshit that happened in Washington and how he's going to go on, I don't know what you call it. Is it Inauguration Day or whatnot when Biden's put in? Or
Inauguration Day, yeah.
There you go, yeah, thanks. I read history books, folks. So he's going to go there and he's going to record the whole thing. That's what he's saying anyway. I was like, dude, I don't want to go like within 10 feet of that, so...
Yeah, I mean, he's already made a few documentaries.
So you got to hand it to him.
Flowers for Peace, the Flowers for Peace documentary.
Cool.
Yeah, he had a few direct words with Trump, and then they said, "Get out before I throw you out," and then they did in fact throw him out.
Right, throw you out.
Yeah.
I honestly think that he's not going to go easy, man.
So do I. I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My girlfriend and I have been like batten down the hatches.
He's going to have some kind of police backup, I think. He's going to hire some kind of secret special police.
That was pretty crazy, wasn't that? During some of those protests and stuff, where there were like unmarked policemen, right? It seemed like private police or something, and they had like electrical tape over their badges or their badge numbers. Doesn't seem suspect.
Also, he might run again in 24 if he doesn't die of a heart attack. He's going to be almost 80, but it seems like his evil seems to energize him somehow.
Wow, the Force. He's like the Emperor. Somehow Palpatine returned. That was a famous line in the last Star Wars movie. So how he was able to, the Emperor just resurrects. Just like Trump, it seems he keeps going.
Yeah, I think probably. I mean, his cousin, who's a Mary Trump, who wrote that book, said he won't do that again because he doesn't want to lose again. But Trump is psychotic. Any normal behavior that has nothing to do with him. He just does. It's like he automatically does whatever is abnormal and outrageous. So I think he might try to.
So did an administration like the Trump administration, did that give you a lot of fuel to do your artwork? Do you feel like, is it harder to generate stuff if you do political portraits, harder to generate content for your cartoons and things, or does that matter to you? You'll find something to say.
Well, a lot of this is very easy comedy fodder, even though it's like funny and painful at the same time. It's like usually I just draw Trump, make him look appropriately ugly, and then make a word balloon, and then try to fill it with something.
Is your artwork available online, DL, or do you show?
I'm on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Can you give him the information, Mike? It's D period L period POLONSKY or variations of that. I mean, one of them might. Why don't you give me you're on Instagram, aren't you? Or,
yeah, my band is on there.
Well, I'll friend you when I get on. What's your name? Can I look you up?
Raleigh Stein.
R-A-W. How do you spell it?
R-A-L-E-I-G-H.
Raleigh. Raleigh. S-T-E-I-N.
And then Stein. You know how you spell Stein. It's basic and boring.
All right, I'll get in contact with you. Are you on Twitter and Facebook or just Instagram?
DL, I don't know about you, but I've had some nasty run-ins, and I don't even do that shit anymore. So,
well, I don't want to give out my number. So,
not really a computers guy anymore, but no, all good.
I only do this computer stuff because it's the only place I can get my artwork in a pandemic. I mean, no print media is using it. print media was dying out before the pandemic. I used to get in newspapers. I used to get in the Boston Herald and the Globe. So.
Oh, cool! Wow.
Well, the Herald is terrible. They're a right-wing rag, but that was before Trump, and all I did was faces. So, but I had like 9 pictures in the Globe and like 80 in the Herald. But I can't get my work anywhere. It's all died out because of technology.
You're like famous in Boston, then, huh?
I can't tell.
How did I miss this?
I can't tell if I'm. Everybody tells me that I sound conceited, and why do I think I have that much power? I can't tell if I'm famous or not. All I know is I get like hundreds of views and retweets on Twitter. Not as many on Facebook or Instagram, but on Twitter I get like every day hundreds. If you can believe the Twitter counter, the view counter. I don't know if it's accurate.
Hey, Mike, I don't want to speak out of turn, but it's either somebody with a similar last name, but is this the militia guy? The guy who is talking about the uprising, an uprising against Mike? I'm probably speaking totally wrong.
That might have been the
Are you also DL? Are you a gun guy?
No, I hate that. No, you mean pro-gun? No, I hate guns.
That might have been D.I. Polonsky. There was a D.I. Polonsky.
No. Oh, that's your buddy Stan. That's your buddy Stan Dombrowski. Okay, I got.
You're saying D.I. Polonsky. That was before when they were. I couldn't get Facebook to print my name right. Is that what you're talking about?
No.
At the beginning,
bring it up. I saw another name that was like yours, and I thought you were this like militia guy.
Oh, there's an
anti-government militia guy.
He's like the alien guy, the alien scientist guy.
I'm not a pro-gun. I'm not pro-gun at all. No, I'm a pacifist.
Oh, I was like in my head, I was kind of picturing you as this artist, because I had you mixed with this other guy. I had you as this artist, militia dude. Sorry, man. I don't want to get you.
Okay, I thought you were Lawrence.
You might want to put that out there, bud.
I thought you were Lawrence, who I don't particularly get along with because your voice sounds like him.
Yeah.
I'm keep getting compared to this Lawrence guy. I got to hear him.
DL does have some guns in his movies, though.
I think that's a priority now.
So you sound somewhat like him, not exactly. Sorry, I won't talk about him anymore.
Wouldn't know, man.
He sounds better. He has a better radio voice. Yeah.
But yeah. So how are you guys planning and riding out the rest of it? You know what, the pandemic's sad. It's a bad topic, and I keep bringing it up. I'm sorry.
What are some good shows you're watching, DL? DL has a big DVD collection of classic movies and shows.
Okay. Maybe you can recommend some.
Yeah.
I'm out of things.
Goodbye, Uncle Tom. Johnny Got His Gun. Upbeat
I want to see
material.
DL's movies.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll try to get in contact with you, but I don't want to give out my number right now on a podcast.
Uh-huh.
What are some of the titles of your movies so I can maybe find them on YouTube?
They're not. They're the newest ones aren't on there. There's one called Midlife Cowboy. There's one. I don't have. There's a disease called Man, but it's not. That one isn't so great. I mean, they're all out of date.
I thought you were saying that was your best one.
I did Bored on the 4th of July isn't on there. I haven't kept up with any of that stuff. All I've been doing is anti-Trump cartoons.
Some Midlife Cowboy, Bored on the
4th of July. It's not on there. That one's not on there. Urban Fairy.
The good ones aren't on.
What else?
Mike, can you tell? I'd have to get your email or something.
I can connect him to. I want to see the old, more of the old ones that you did with your brother when you were kids. Those are good.
Do you have like a fan?
Some of them are destroyed and they weren't saved.
How did they get destroyed?
Like a fan site where people can like buy them or like Patreon.
I can't deal with any of that. I'm 60. There's a pandemic. All I can doing is making anti-Trump cartoons because he's a psychotic and he's putting the whole country in danger. And I think people should, if they're creative, they should use that to try whatever little they can do to combat that. So I can't deal with promoting my films that I made 10 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just doing political cartoons, even though he's a lame duck. He's only going to be in office for another 52 days or something. I'm still doing them. So
or a year if he has his way with it.
If he had his way with it until he dies, he'd be in there.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Well, I wasn't trying to burden you with your movies. I was just a lot of people.
You don't know what you don't. I can barely deal with what I'm doing now. So
right. You have a lot of people. I'm the same way. I can't. Some days I just don't even want to. So I get it. It's cool, man. I just think it's fat because I can't make movies. So I'm just fascinated by.
I can't make them anymore. I used to.
Why can't you make them anymore? Just curious.
Because I can't get. I'll get the COVID. I don't have any money. I don't have a car. I don't have a job. I'm 60 years old. I was 50 when I made about 52 when I stopped making them, and I had some money. Now I have to save all my money. I don't. Do I need to? I don't. A lot of movie production isn't happening because of the virus. I mean, what are they going to do? CGI out the masks from the faces? That would be expensive.
Central Casting keeps calling Lawrence because they still need a cop. They still need him to play a cop.
Well, they're okay. So they're. I didn't say they're stopping it completely.
They want to put him in the experimental pool of extras. You know.
Well, if he wore a mask, you wouldn't see his lack of a chin.
Yeah. And so some people benefit from this more than others.
And if Giuliani wore a mask, you wouldn't see the drips going down his face. Unless they dripped over the mask.
Oh, did you guys see the new Borat?
Yeah. Giuliani's in
about
there. It's on Amazon.
That Giuliani scene there?
Yeah.
I saw the clip of that scene.
Michael, did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it.
What do you think of that Giuliani scene?
I think it's kind of incriminating. Isn't he trying to, he's being interviewed by the girl who's supposed to be, is it Borat's daughter or something? And then, it kind of looks in...
Touching her and stuff.
Yeah. Was he, trying to get her number or something? And then he's, adjusting his pants.
Can he look any stupider than he already does? He's a jackass.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to that guy?
He's still trying to fight these these voter fraud things that have absolutely no evidence. You know what he's doing. He's going from one city to the other in the swing states, trying to fight these voter fraud things with no evidence at all and getting laughed out of court.
He was saying, he said Giuliani though.
He's a Trump lackey.
Yeah.
And I made a cartoon of the hair dye that was dripping down his face.
Mm-hmm.
Did
you? That's cool.
Was he sweating it out?
If you want to see my stuff, you have to give me your email or something, because I don't want to give my phone number out on a podcast. So
I'm like you though. I'm kind of gathering that you hate computers, and I'm a younger guy, but I'm right there with you, man.
I hate them, but I'm not going to get in any print media now. I can't. It was dying out before the pandemic. I mean,
stupid moron kids walking down the street, naughty. This chick the other day, almost ran me over. She's on her iPhone while she's driving, and that's illegal now.
I heard
some fucking iPhone, dude, and she's going through an intersection. I'm walking with my girlfriend, and she almost nails the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't even wave sorry or stop or anything.
Yeah, they're like zombies. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a few instances where they fell in an open manhole or they got hit by a train because they were staring at their phones.
Natural selection, I say.
Yeah, the Darwin Award.
I want them to be hurt, but it's their fault. What do you think, Gail?
I think it's a kind of hypnotism, like supporting Trump is a kind of hypnotism. Staring at screens all day is a kind of hypnotism. People get hypnotized anything with a screen.
Raleigh, you got hypnotized once, didn't you?
When?
I think Raleigh was hypnotized at like a party or something. Didn't that happen to you?
I was hypnotized once by this chick who's like, my girlfriend wanted it. You can cut that out.
Okay, sorry.
You're not really going to cut anything out, are you? It's too much.
You're not going to cut anything. He doesn't cut things. Does he cut things out, DL?
Yeah, I'm gonna cut the earlier things.
You don't really, do you? It's just it's too much trouble. You just put the whole thing on the way it is, right?
I'm thinking you're going to put everything on and you're going to incriminate my ass.
In the past, I had a no editing policy, but I mean, I have to put the theme on anyway.
I think when we were doing those podcasts, that the weekly dig off, that unregular radio thing, you never edited them, hardly ever.
Did you just say the weekly dig?
It was in their office. We used to do
We played live. We played on what's the name of that show?
Unregular radio.
It was the black guy. It was the big black guy.
Nez, Big
What
Nez.
was the name of his show?
I don't know. Oh, I was on that one.
Big Nez, Big Nez.
Big Nez. Yeah. Oh shit, that was 2011. Yeah, man. Oh wow, we must have maybe we bumped into. When did you guys go there?
I used to be on their radio thing. I don't know why I did it, but it was at the first. It was Mike. Why don't you tell them?
Yeah, it was. It was in the
two different places.
Yeah, Unregular Radio was sort of an upstart in Boston. Then they had their own little sort of hole in the wall, and then they moved into the Weekly Dig office, and we did a morning show for a while.
But that was awkward because the Weekly Dig won't use my artwork because they think I'm weird in the wrong way for their.
Not not hip enough.
They're ageist.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone, aren't they? Are they gone too?
Weekly Dig, nobody reads them much, but they're still there. Yeah.
Does Big Nez still do I'm totally out of touch with that. Does Big Nez still do it? Do they have the radio stuff or?
No, I think they closed that down, and then I think Big Nez went to California himself. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really cool. We did that, and we did WMFO.
Tufts. That's Tufts. Yeah.
Paradise. Yeah, it was cool. Hey, yeah, I actually, when you were talking about computers earlier, I sold my my iPhone recently, and my best friend was like, "How the fuck can you do that? Like that's how everybody survives." And I'm just like, I'm not gonna live in this fucking digital prison.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I was going to do a show called Digital Prison. I did one little video segment from it that I didn't. Nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
You were going to do a show
called Digital Prison, about the horrible the dehumanizing nature of the technology, and how. Was it a YouTube show? What were you going to do? I was doing it on cable, but I couldn't get enough help with it, so nothing happened.
Cable.
It was on public access.
Oh, okay.
Cable, public access.
There's one of those in Newburyport. Which one did you go to? Which public access place?
That was Brookline. I've done stuff at Cambridge, Brookline, Newton, way back decades ago, in Newton.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I never got into. I always was interested, and now I kind of feel like I missed out, with the pandemic and everything. I always kind of liked that whole public access aesthetic. It always seemed like a kind of a cozy, I don't know, more of a grassroots effort. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Out of those places,
I didn't have any choice.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have enough. I had to use the resources of public access because I didn't have enough money to do anything otherwise. So.
Well, you're resourceful. That's cool, man.
So your name is
My name is Raleigh.
RALEIGHSTEIN.
Raleigh. Yeah, man. But I'm not on Instagram. I got rid of it.
You are or you're not?
What?
You said your band is on Instagram.
Yeah, it's so.
But not.
I don't even manage it.
But your name isn't on it, so if I looked it up, you wouldn't come up.
Yeah, I'll have Mike give you. I don't even want to really talk about it on air. I got some.
I don't either.
I got some arguments with people, and it's stuff that I can't talk about.
Yeah, and I just want to say that the YouTube stuff the audio they're taking off is not illegal. They just think it's illegal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not copyright.
Right.
I'm not violating any copyrights. They just think I am, so they took it down.
No, don't sweat it. They're jackasses. That's how they operate. If you're not getting like 13,000 views an hour, then you're mud, I guess.
Then you're under the radar.
The robots will get you. The automated.
If they can't monetize you, then forget about it.
Mm.
I really want to see that midlife. What did you call it? Urban cowboy?
Midlife cowboy. I think it's on there in 4 sections.
Midlife cowboy.
It's about a
sectional.
cowboy who can't stand computers, and then at the end of it, he smashes one with an axe. He says, "Here's your computer, hacker," and he hacks it up with an axe. But there's there's a plot to it. I don't feel like it's more complicated. The guy who starred in it died, Dave Dodge. So it wasn't really midlife. It was the end of his life, I guess. Hello?
Hello?
You,
yeah.
Just type it in. No, my girlfriend's typing in midlife cowboy right now.
Yeah.
It's in 4 sections on YouTube, unless they've taken it down recently. I guess. My name is Aphorism 31. Look up Aphorism 31 on YouTube.
This might be you, Cambridge Community Television Channel, and there's Midlife Cowboy.
Aphorism 31. There's about 16 things on there, and some things that Lawrence. I'm sorry to bring him up again, but Lawrence did and Mike that are, but they're probably not on my Aphorism 31 account. They're probably on theirs.
What did they do with you?
They were in some of my movies, a few of my movies. I didn't make dozens of movies. I just made about six or seven on video. And when I was growing up, I made a lot of them on Super 8.
Talk about is it the Big Wall, the feature movie that you made in the 90s,
That was the first video one I did at a public access station. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Big Wall. It's not there.
But didn't you have a full script for that?
You might be happy to see this. Like, yeah, babe, I got it. The Cambridge Community Television YouTube channel has Midlife Cowboy on there in one piece. I'm seeing yours, Aphorism. Yours are broken.
But does it really play, or does it just say it plays?
No, it's a full thing. I'm playing it.
You're playing it? It has it?
Yeah,
Is there a big goonish-looking guy walking around with a
big guy with a big hat, big white?
Are you sure it's not a promo for it?
No, it's 29
minutes, about 23. It was 23 minutes.
I'm sorry, Gil. Hold on. Babe, just open it.
It's got a big goonish guy on it.
It's that one.
It's dead. It's all right for me to say that.
Speaking ill of the dead.
23 minutes long?
What? 20. I think it's 23 minutes.
Yeah.
Is it going into the titles now, and it has them in a hallway, and then there's a guy with orange glasses?
Scan ahead, Toots.
Okay, all right, it's still on there. Good.
She's great. Wow, the dude's hitting it with an axe.
It's at the end of it. That's at the end of the movie.
Does it have the pigsty that looks like a pigsty? Remember that?
That should be in there. Yeah.
Oh wow, this is pretty good.
That's a good. That's one of my least bad ones, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. Nice. Far out, man. Cool.
Yeah, that's a better one than the other. That has less embarrassing problems in it than the other ones do. Yeah.
I'm jealous now, man. I gotta get on the ball and start.
So they have it on the CCTV. I used to have it on something called Blip TV, but then it went down for some reason. And it was on YouTube in 4 sections. It might still be there. I didn't know it was on Cambridge Cable. Good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Far out, man. Cool. Good for you. Look at you.
Yeah, that was 2007.
Wow. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, the guys.
The computer he smashes was a big boxy one, not a flat screen. It was 2007.
I'm looking. He's in a hardware store and he's talking to like a guy.
Yeah, but it doesn't look like a hardware store because we really did it in an art store. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Good. I'm glad that's there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you get the actors for these? Who's that guy? Who's the
From Public Act. He's dead now. He was on a show called Depraved Dave's Cave,
Mm-hmm.
where he'd show horror movies and grindhouse
Mm-hmm.
things like stuff on a talk show.
Oh, shit.
He died about 6 years ago, I think.
Oh, wow. He didn't die in your movie set, did he?
No,
No.
we didn't. I don't want to. No, I would have. Not. I mean, he left one of them. He left the movie. The one we did after that, he walked out of it. We had a fight, and he walked out.
Mm-hmm.
But it was his fault.
What was the fight about?
He said I was disrupting his horror movie. I don't want. It's 10 years ago.
Oh,
it's 12 years.
you're not allowed to talk about. I think didn't I get an email? There was some sort of maybe he came to one of the Experimental Yale film festivals, I think, to confront you or something.
Yeah, and he yeah. I don't care about any of this. It's too long ago.
Well, maybe I care about it. Maybe people like
you
juicy.
care about it. You
juicy
tell
stuff.
them about it.
Well, I didn't really know the whole.
Sorry, but I don't care. I'm having enough trouble dealing with my life now. I don't care about
old stuff.
There's insane behavior of Dave Dodge, who's not even alive now.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's the lucky one.
Yeah.
All the people with this crap.
he was a. I don't want to say his relatives. I don't want to say what he is. His relatives might be listening.
Mm-hmm. But he was one of your better actors, right? I mean, didn't you like for the time? What he did Midlight? He was a star turn.
All right.
Well, I mean,
he wasn't my worst one.
Right.
I'm watching this right now on my girlfriend's computer. It's pretty.
He was kind of doing a southern accent.
Yeah.
Not a western one.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't really doing a west. It sounds more southern.
It kind of looks like a mid '80s kind of like a punk rock sort of or a new wave sort of a movie from like an art house or something that you would.
Yeah.
That's unearthed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This looks pretty good. I like it. How did you like?
Mike, can you get me the link to that? I mean, do I put in CCTV? How do I get? How did what did you do? How did you get it on? Did you Google CCTV? How did you get it?
She typed in your title, Midlife Cowboy.
All right, I'll look for it.
Yeah, and then that came up.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go. Is that all right?
Sure. I mean,
I don't have anything else to talk about. This is all.
You don't have any palindromes or.
You know what a what's his name, Raleigh?
Mm-hmm.
You know what a palindrome is, right?
Yeah.
I make palindrome. I don't. Deep in a can, I peed.
You peed in a can?
Naomi won a Toyota, now I moan. They're the same bag.
Oh, yeah, okay, cool.
I maimed 9 men in Miami.
Did you just
I don't really
admit to murder?
That's just a palindrome.
Don't really admit to any crimes on the air. Remember, that was our early unregular radio disclaimer.
Every single part of what we've been talking about lately is, in this interview has been awkward because we didn't prepare any of it.
Well,
I was having a good time. I don't know about
you. All right, I know, but I'm just worried about getting misunderstood about something that's legal as something that's illegal. That's all.
Right.
When I say I named 9 men in Miami, I'm just saying it because it's the same backwards.
Right.
I don't think anyone's going to hold that against me.
Okay,
No.
I didn't name anyone.
No.
We know that.
All right.
We hope not, DL.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a palindrome that included...
I put the fist in pacifist.
Yeah, that's a violent way of putting it in there. You're fisting someone or something.
That's pretty
Pacifism.
good. He puts the fist... That might be the song I put.
Ironic.
I like that.
Obviously.
The fist and pacifist. Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
As well you should, DL. As well you should.
What
Yeah.
about, are you going to be doing any more blogging about the current, when you used to read the blogs on stage at the Golden Sounds band shows?
Talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you talking to me or him?
Yeah. Well,
I don't
Raleigh
even know who
never...
you're talking to.
Well, he never played the Golden Sounds Brock shows, but you used to read your blog
Yeah.
on stage.
I can't find my password to that blog, and I don't want to do it anyway. It only got like 20 views.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm doing now is the political cartoons. A friend of mine said he might ask if I could think of some lyrics to a song. He's a songwriter. He might help me to write a song with probably a political song with those lyrics, but I haven't done anything yet. I'm just doing artwork right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can do in this pandemic. I can't make films in this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe other people can, but I can't.
Mm-hmm. Well, you do what you can.
Yeah.
You can always
All you can
podcast.
That's all anyone can do.
Yeah.
What kind of music? What's your band again? What? Raleigh?
We're the Strikers, and we do new wave 80s style music. We're mostly like new wave, a lot of covers.
Yeah. If I Google, I don't like all this computer stuff either. But you have to. I mean, if you want me to see my work or me see yours, you have. I mean, if I Google Striker and your name, will that stuff come up? Or
I actually asked the guys to I like to remain anonymous, so they don't include me. I give a shit about credits and all that crap, so they don't even include me in it. Honestly, DL, I have nothing, I don't want to sound like I'm being dismissive, but I have, nothing to do with how they handle our online presence.
yeah,
I leave that up to them. I'm 41 years old, man. I don't want to mess around with that sort of thing. I'm different time, different era. I understand you need it. Like you say, you need that stuff, but I'm just not about it. I'm just not about it. I'm not about it at all.
yeah.
But he's saying in order for him to show you his, you have to show him yours. Your links.
No,
your
I know.
links.
I'll give you, Michael. I'll make sure you get the information.
Yeah,
because
sure.
I don't want anyone on the air even. I trust this DL.
I
don't
understand.
trust anyone else. So.
I understand.
Yeah, that's cool. I totally trust you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, man. Yeah, man. Hey, it was nice meeting you, DL.
Yeah. If you can call this meeting, I guess it's meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy modern bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay healthy, then. You just don't go out. Try not to shake too many hands, and I think you'll be fine.
Yeah. Your band's called Striker. I mean, if I look them up on Instagram under the name Striker.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much they posted. I just know.
How do you spell that? There's probably a couple things called Striker. How do you spell that exactly?
It's S-T-R-Y. I'm sorry, S-T-R-Y-K-I-R.
I-R. That should narrow it down.
And, it's a lot of new wave stuff. But, I don't know, just keep it low profile, man.
All right, I guess I'm going to go.
All right, DL. Take it easy, man.
Nice meeting you if you called. I mean, I guess we're meeting.
Sure.
All right.
Good to connect, people. Good to connect with you again.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. That was DL. Oh, I think someone else is calling me. Oh, it's Lawrence got on.
What happened?
Yeah, sorry about that. I can only have so many lines on at one time. So
Yeah, no problem, dude.
yeah,
Who
that's
should,
right.
cool.
Oh, DL was calling in, and then Raleigh, that band guy again. I'm not sure about him. So, but it was interesting to have different people on. So, yeah.
Cool.
Introduce DL to
That's
a new,
cool. I
a new
know
audience.
want to talk to me. Well,
Yeah.
did you mention me at all? Or?
Well, he said the guy, Raleigh, sounded kind of like he was weird. But he had more of a chin than you, I guess. I don't know how he could tell that on audio. It was weird. He said you would benefit from wearing a mask because they wouldn't be able to tell your lack of a chin.
Boy, you're
He also compared you to the ego of Donald Trump.
Did he?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow, okay.
I try to mend that bridge. I don't know.
Interpretation?
Yeah. We'll see about it.
No.
There's like opposing
Not the
fan.
first time
I know
I've had.
there's opposing fan bases on the podcast here. The the pro Lawrence side and the pro DL side. I'm just trying to build a bridge here.
Okay, trying your best, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, good. You had DL on.
Yeah, that mixes it up a little bit. I like just sort of facilitating that, seeing where that goes.
Yeah.
Yep. It sort of runs out of gas and starts like spinning around before it crashes at the end, but it's good. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Did you see the new Bill and
Which one?
Ted? Did you see the Bill and Ted 3 movie?
I still haven't seen it.
Okay.
I was like the number one person championing that movie for years. Like
Yeah.
since I saw the second one.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, man. The whole hassle of buying it, going through buying it. Can you just buy it? Do you have to get like a Netflix subscription, or can you do like a one-off?
If you go on like the Fandango website, you can just, if you have like a debit card or a credit card, you could just buy it, for like the day and watch it a couple of days. Things like that.
Okay. As long as it's not like, as long as I don't have to subscribe to anything or any of that bullshit. Like, that was my only concern. Because, as it turns out, they're going to be releasing Godzilla vs. King Kong on streaming.
Yeah.
Because that was supposed to be in the theaters now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's like a bidding war between like Netflix and HBO Max about who's going to get the rights.
Yeah. Wasn't there also a similar...
I love Godzilla, so...
Did the bidding war involve the... was it like the Sepulveda potato chip war? And the Ramsey clan? What was that? Remember, there was like a bidding war in the future for Chris Kegley's music.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Kegley if anyone's gotten this far into the show. Like,
Jesus. Well, what do you think? Has this been a successful show, Mike, or what?
yeah, pretty much. It was a good way to kind of get back and to sort of... You can offer the people content, at least it's there if they want to. It shows I haven't totally given up on this project.
It's the equivalent of Sony making the Amazing Spider-Man to keep the rights.
Yeah. We just had to. When it comes up on almost a year, you have to. If we didn't re-up something called Experimental Podcast or Experimental Radio, which was also registered, we needed to have some new episode, and I enjoyed it.
Good. It was good.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun. Too bad I couldn't talk to DL directly because he would just implode.
Maybe next time we'll do that one. What else do we want to...
We'll try.
You could let us know, listeners, what you'd like to hear next time.
Yeah, hey, Robert Lee.
Yeah, Robert Lee. Robert Lee and my various female followings on my Instagram page, you say, I'd like to do that, I'd like to be on it. But when you have, I never really understood the concept of having models on audio format. Sometimes you get something interesting.
If you're going to do that, make sure you got a camera running.
Yeah, or sometimes, there's
You see something.
something to be said. Have something to... Like DL makes it good, he knows how to stretch, If he doesn't have material, the material becomes having nothing to say, and why did you put me on this, and is this just sort of payback for the thousands of dollars you spent on the D.L. Polonsky Nonviolent Anarchy Film Festival tour back in 2009 to 10? This...
I'm a more peaceful man now. I've turned the corner.
Well, that's it. He's gotten a lot better. You've gotten a lot better, I think.
Cool.
So yeah,
well,
you get
right. I think this is good. I think this is a good time to end it. I think we've done enough. I gotta eat, so Mike, you sign it off. Yeah,
we could just plug. What's the there's Chris Kegley's pages, his music, and then what's it's not Scarletto anymore. It's Neon Wolves or something. Is that the punk band that your friend is doing out there in LA, right? She wants to interview me or us about a punk podcast or something. So
yeah,
check out that stuff.
Can't wait till it happens.
Mm-hmm. So Neon Wolves on Instagram, and then what is on Instagram? Chris is real. Chris Kegley. Chris Kris Kegley, right? Because that was like a thing as a thank you, because he put me, Mick, and our buddy Mick Cusimano and our buddy John Hartman also, and then you had a film with Goth Robot 2.0 in his one of Keg's. Keg did his Labor Day special, and he did. I think he had just done a Halloween special too on YouTube, so that was fun.
Yeah, he was popping with those for a while.
So we'll be thinking.
Who knows?
Be thinking.
Soon. Oh God.
So.
Be thinking. Yo.
That's the new. We've test marketed, and that's going to be the new sign off. Or we'll just do, like we said, where there's an ill, there's a way. So be part of the experiment right here on Experimentally Ill. Do we have to say radio? I mean, yeah, I guess there hasn't been anything else experimentally ill for a while.
I don't think there's going to be experimentally ill again, ever.
Ever again? It got so ill it died for a year. But I enjoy doing those one-on-one interviews with the interesting artist people too, and it was fun to kind of sort of grow into doing those one-on-ones, but I always like to check in with like you and DL and some of like the regular friends, who have done this and stuff. So
always interesting hearing the history.
Yeah. So we'll keep doing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to plug anything, or does it matter? Or
I'm good for right now.
Okay.
I'm good. Hey, listen to Mike's podcast, everybody. Keep listening, and make sure if you can check out old episodes, start, 14 and on, and you'll be great.
Okay. Yeah, Michael P. O'Toole on the Instagram and all that stuff, and check out the other stuff on all the other old podcasts on experimentallyIll.com. And once again, we say, where there is an ill, there is a way. So until next time, be part of the experiment right here on Experimentally Ill Radio.